Brick Baby goes on the show and says, I guess they can't say OTF didn't slide for King Von.
So they said that or co-conspirator number 4 is I'm the one that provided the location to
Lil Durk, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nah.
The dynasty is teetering on the precipice of collapse. For years, Lil Durk and only the family OTF stood as an unshakable monolith in the volatile landscape of hip-hop. They weren't just a record label, they were a cultural force, a symbol of street resilience, raw talent, and unwavering loyalty. But now, that very foundation, built on the bedrock of brotherhood and code, is cracking under immense pressure. The empire is trembling, fissures spreading wide, all ignited by a single venomous word: snitch.
The world is oblivious to this. We've tied this to a bad drug deal. Remember the story? Brick Baby goes on the show and says, I guess they can't say OTF didn't slide for King Von.
What began as hushed whispers in the back alleys of the internet has now morphed into a deafening, inescapable roar. Brick Baby, a name once synonymous with the OTF family, once celebrated as an unwavering soldier, has allegedly turned informant. And the radioactive fallout from this alleged betrayal is threatening to consume everything Lil Durk painstakingly built, brick by blood-soaked brick. This isn't just another rap beef, another fleeting controversy. This is a potential public execution of an entire musical and cultural empire orchestrated not by rivals, not by external forces, but from the venomous heart of the inner circle.
We're under the presumption that it's an AK-47 case. But what really happened was they came there to get his cell phone. In the process of him doing the search, they come across the AK-47.
Slide for Von, right? Yeah.
They can't say that no more.
Why? Oh yeah, because of no. Like who died?
Can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Oh who?
Nah, because Lil Pive.
Imagine the sheer gut-wrenching betrayal. Close your eyes and picture the seismic shockwaves ripping through the tightly knit OTF ranks, shattering trust and sowing seeds of paranoia. Brick Baby, a figure etched in the OTF mythology, a face familiar to millions of fans, now allegedly branded with the ultimate scarlet letter, RAT. The accusations aren't just damaging, they are nuclear, capable of incinerating everything in their path. Allegedly snitching on Lil Durk himself, not on some petty street beef, but on a federal case, handing over crucial information in the brutal El Pap murder investigation. Information that could potentially unlock devastating federal RICO charges, the legal equivalent of a tactical nuke aimed directly at the heart of OTF. It's a Shakespearean tragedy unfolding in the 21st century, played out on social media timelines and in leaked court documents. A story of brotherhood twisted into bitter, almost incomprehensible betrayal, loyalty shattered into a million razor-sharp pieces, leaving behind only suspicion and the bitter taste of ashes. The streets from Chicago to LA and beyond are buzzing, vibrating with a single terrifying question: is this finally, irrevocably the beginning of the end for OTF?
It's the call, that's that new shit.
Wait, they got charged by the Fed?
Nothing like it pops up.
Let's go real quick. Hey, good work.
They got charged by the Fed. So they said that or co-conspirator number 4 is I'm the one that provided the location to
Lil Durk, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nah. You know what I mean? Like, I know it looks, I wouldn't be right here doing all this first and foremost if I was co-conspirator number 4.
To truly understand the gravity of this alleged betrayal, to appreciate the sheer weight of the accusations, we must rewind the narrative to the incandescent flashpoint that ignited this entire inferno. The tragic, senseless loss of King Von Davon Bennett wasn't just a rapper on the rise, he was a lyrical phenom, a storyteller who painted vivid, visceral portraits of street life with an unmatched authenticity. More importantly, within the OTF constellation, he was Lil Durk's brother-in-arms, his closest confidant, his artistic soulmate. His violent, untimely death on November 6th, 2020 wasn't just a personal tragedy for Durk, it was a seismic event, a brutal declaration of war echoing through the very foundations of OTF. The immediate aftermath wasn't just grief-stricken mourning, it was a raw, visceral eruption of rage. The Slide for Vaughn campaign wasn't merely fan pressure, it was a street mandate, a digital war cry demanding vengeance, demanding retribution in blood. Retaliation wasn't just expected by the rabid fan base, it was demanded by the unwritten, unforgiving code of the streets. And then, months later, across the country in the sun-drenched streets of Los Angeles came the brutal attack on Quando Rondo's SUV.
There are now 5 people in custody who weren't in custody before. 5 people who were alleged to have committed a murder in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon in the city of Chicago.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years.
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he flipped.
Lil Pap, Frederick Rooks, became the tragic casualty, an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire of a war he likely didn't even fully comprehend. Whispers began to circulate, insidious and persistent, whispers of payback, whispers of a Chicago-bred vengeance reaching across state lines. Whispers of Slide for Vaughn finally manifesting in brutal reality. Suddenly, almost inexplicably, Brick Baby, a figure previously on the periphery of this narrative, steps directly into the blinding spotlight, not with vehement denials, not with righteous indignation, but with a series of cryptic boasts, carefully worded hints, and loaded implications that sent a collective chill down the spines of those in the know. "I guess they can't say OTF didn't slide for King Von," he reportedly uttered in an interview that now feels less like casual commentary and more like a calculated confession in disguise. A statement that wasn't just idly heard, it was meticulously dissected, relentlessly analyzed, and ultimately weaponized, not just by the ever-vigilant streets, but by the cold, calculating eyes of federal law enforcement. Was this mere bravado, a misguided attempt to claim street cred, or was it something far more insidious, a calculated confession masked as pride, a carefully orchestrated breadcrumb trail laid for the authorities to follow? Then, the informant narrative, once a fringe conspiracy theory, exploded into the mainstream, fueled by the pronouncements of a hip-hop oracle, Wack 100, Marion Wack 100 Knight Jr., never one to shy away from controversy, stepped forward not with speculation, but with declarative pronouncements. Brick Baby, he asserted, isn't just talking loosely, he's singing opera to the feds. Snitching with a practiced ease, trading carefully curated information for the promise of freedom, allegedly leveraging a seemingly minor gun charge to escape the looming shadow of a far larger conspiracy. Suddenly, seemingly disparate pieces of the puzzle started clicking into place with terrifying precision. Brick Baby's unsettlingly loose lips in interviews, his strangely nervous denials that somehow felt more incriminating than outright confessions, his almost unnervingly unbothered public appearances in the face of mounting accusations, all re-examined under the harsh, unforgiving light of alleged betrayal. Then the hammer blow, the federal indictment dropped not just on low-level associates, but directly implicating OTF as an organization, confirming the darkest, most whispered fears. Co-conspirator 4 Inches, a deliberately shadowy, unnamed figure within the charging documents, described only as someone who provided crucial location details, the key that unlocked the LA attack. And the internet, that vast, relentless, and often unforgiving jury of public opinion, delivered its swift, brutal verdict: Brick Baby, guilty as charged, convicted in the court of social media before any gavel had even fallen in a real courtroom.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's bro. I'm saying, my whole time in jail, that stayed, bro. Like, before the money, you know what I'm saying? That was bro. Like, I remember when the money wasn't there, first I'm gonna say you 50, I got you, and I gave my lawyer money and everything when I'm fighting my case. I ain't gonna lie, Durk come through. All that, like, Durk come through.
But the tapestry of betrayal, already woven with threads of deceit and suspicion, unravels further, becoming even darker, even more intricate. Just when the narrative seemed to have reached its nadir, just when Brick Baby appeared to be the ultimate villain in this unfolding tragedy, a second name, a second betrayal of even deeper magnitude, surfaces from the murky depths of the OTF inner circle. OTF Jam, James Prince, an OTF member who had been recently, almost triumphantly, welcomed back into the fold after serving a staggering 12-year prison sentence for attempted murder. Loyalty publicly proclaimed, brotherhood reaffirmed, forgiveness seemingly granted. And then, the chilling revelation: The Wire. Not just a recent panicked flip under duress, but years of alleged secret recordings, a double agent, a long-term mole planted deep within the very heart of the OTF family, systematically, meticulously feeding information to the ever-patient, ever-watchful federal authorities. It's not just one rat gnawing at the edges of the empire, it's a potential infestation, a coordinated, multi-pronged takedown engineered from both insidious inside betrayals and relentless external pressure. Lil Durk, once perceived as untouchable, a Teflon Don in the rap game, now allegedly surrounded, suffocated by vipers in his own nest. The question is no longer simply if the OTF empire will fall, it's how spectacularly, how catastrophically, and how definitively it will crumble under the combined weight of alleged snitching, internal treachery, and the unforgiving machinery of the federal justice system. The stakes are no longer just careers or reputations, they are astronomical, life-altering. Devastating federal RICO charges loom like a biblical plague, threatening to not just prosecute individuals, but to legally dismantle OTF as a criminal enterprise, to sever its financial arteries, to obliterate its very existence. Rap lyrics, once celebrated as gritty artistic expression, raw reflections of street realities, now morph into chilling potential evidence, meticulously scrutinized by prosecutors, twisted and weaponized to paint a damning portrait of OTF's alleged criminal operations. Lil Durk's legacy, once seemingly cemented in platinum records, sold-out stadiums, and anthems that resonated with millions across the globe, now precariously balanced on a knife's edge, threatened by the indelible stain of alleged betrayal, the specter of a RICO conviction, and the cold, unforgiving reality of potential decades behind prison bars. Is this the tragic, fatal flaw baked into the very blueprint of the OTF empire? Did the unwavering emphasis on loyalty, on brotherhood at all costs, ultimately become a crippling weakness exploited by those closest to the throne? Did the carefully cultivated gangster persona, the very image that fueled their rise to power, ultimately devour the legitimate rap dream, consuming everything in its path? The world, both within hip-hop and far beyond, is watching with bated breath, a morbid fascination gripping millions, waiting with grim anticipation to witness if the once mighty OTF empire implodes, crumbles into dust under the crushing weight of alleged snitching, devastating internal betrayal, and the relentless, inescapable march of justice. This isn't just another sensational hip-hop story, it's a chilling cautionary tale, a modern-day morality play about power, loyalty, the corrosive nature of betrayal, and the devastating, often irreversible price of living and dying by a street code in a hyper-connected world that's always listening, always recording, and always ready to judge. The dynasty is not just teetering, it's swaying violently in the winds of scandal. Will it somehow, against all odds, weather the storm? Or is it destined to fall, crashing down in a spectacular, unforgettable, and utterly tragic downfall?